Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. If you have never watched any of my videos before, let me introduce myself quickly. My name is Laura, I'm from Germany, and 6 years ago I spent my exchange year in Texas in the United States. And on this channel I am sharing all of my tips and experiences surrounding my exchange year in order to help some future exchange students out, and also I make a lot of videos for host families, so if you're one of those then definitely check out the other videos on my channel as well. Today I am going to be doing a video that was requested by a lovely viewer of mine, and it is to talk about all of the things I would have done differently in my exchange year had I known before. So without further ado, let's get right on into this video. So the first thing I would have done differently if I had to do my exchange year all over again is to join as many interactive classes as possible. I actually joined the PALS class, so the peer assistance and leadership class, which was super interactive because we were a group of high schoolers who would go over to the middle and the elementary school and we would play with the kids. We would, just be there for them as an emotional support system or just somebody they could talk to or have fun with. And while we were also playing with the kids, we would also get to know each other as, high schoolers as well. And it was super interactive, and I made some really great friends in that class. So looking back now, I feel like it would be so helpful to join as many interactive classes as possible because it's just going to help you out so much in making friends. Number 2 is a tough one. I would say that I would have switched host families, or at least would have had more of an open conversation with them. I am extremely grateful for my host family for deciding to host me. I had a really good relationship with about half of my host family, so my host parents and I got along really well, and there were just some issues with my host siblings at the time which now are pretty much resolved. We have a good relationship now, but back then we didn't have the best of relationships, and it caused me a lot of sadness and a lot of trouble, and I wish I had stood up for myself more and had more of an open conversation, or maybe even have switched host families. Although I'm really torn about this because I really did love my host parents and I did have a good experience overall, so maybe I wouldn't have switched, but I definitely would have had more of an open conversation right from the get-go to maybe resolve some conflicts that just build up over time. The third thing I might have done differently if I had to do it all over again, or if I was transported back in time, was I would have been braver about switching my lunch table. Not because I didn't like the people I was sitting with at lunch, but just because I think, lunchtime was one of the only times that you really got to talk to a lot of people for longer than maybe just a minute or two. So I think switching up the lunch table would have led me to a lot of new friendships, and I wish I would have been brave enough to go over to other people at other tables that I just thought looked really nice, and maybe that could have led to some really nice friendships. So I kind of regret not switching it up more. The fourth thing that I might do differently now is that I would have stood up for myself more. So whether that's somebody making a bad joke about your culture that isn't funny to you at all, whether that's somebody spreading rumors about you, whether that's small little things that really hurt you or that you didn't like that people said or did, I just would have stood up for myself more. But when you are in a completely new situation, in a place where you don't really know anyone yet, where you don't have like a social backup, you kind of get really quiet and you take a lot of things that in your home country you wouldn't have. So I guess I would have communicated my feelings and needs more and would have stood up for myself more and been more confident. The next thing, number 5, I would have done differently is I would have been more proactive about making friends. So I don't know why, because I'm not a shy person here in Germany at all, but when I got to the United States I turned super shy in the beginning, and I kind of always waited for people to come up to me and for people to want to become my friends, when really I should have went out there and really been super proactive about asking people to hang out, or just starting conversations and stuff like that, because you are the new person coming into town. They already have friends, they already have their whole social scene, so you are going to be the one that really has to be proactive, and I wasn't the best at it just because I was young and shy and kind of just inexperienced. So that's something I definitely would change. My thing number 6 that I would do differently is I would have done a lot more videos. I actually have a bunch more videos on this channel, but they are private. I feel like they don't necessarily represent my views anymore, just because I was 15 when I made them and now I'm 22, so there is a lot of time in between that and a lot of personal growth. So maybe I'll open them up for public viewing again at some point, but right now I'm keeping those for myself. But I just wish I had made a lot more videos, maybe once a week or every other week, because because it would be so interesting to kind of look back on my experience in video form. That would be something I definitely would do. The seventh thing I would have done differently is I would have communicated my needs better. You know, my host family was great and my friends were great, but as I just said, I was quite shy in the beginning and I didn't want to tread on anyone's toes, so I wasn't really good about communicating my needs at all. And there were a lot of experiences that I probably missed out on just because I didn't open my mouth and actually said yes to them, or maybe suggested to my host family that we could maybe drive to Dallas or something. And if I had to do it again, I think I would be more proactive and communicative about suggesting maybe some little weekend trips or just activities we could do together, and I think that would have been quite nice. I think that could have made for some really great memories. The last thing I would do differently is to open up about things that really hurt me. So I've already said, you know, communicate better about like your feels and needs, but this one is like super special because you are coming into a new culture, which means that you are going to make a lot of mistakes and you are going to offend a lot of people, but you also carry your own cultural, you know, baggage, the way you were raised culturally with you, and a lot of people from your target country are going to offend you because of the way, you know, you were raised and because of the culture you grew up in. So a lot of the times people are not going to notice when they hurt you. It could have saved a lot of long-term trouble if you had let them know what kind of things offended you, or what they shouldn't say, or what they shouldn't call you, or what they shouldn't make jokes about. So I think just being a bit more communicative about cultural differences from your end could be so helpful. So yeah, that's probably the last thing I would have done differently. If you are a former exchange student, I would love if you commented down below what was the one thing, or maybe the 2 or 3 things that you wish you would have done differently. I think that could be really interesting for, you know, people like me or maybe others to, you know, kind of share those experiences, see where maybe you have similar things that you would do differently to me, or maybe you have things that I never even thought about. And I think that could also help other, you know, future exchange students out a lot when they see maybe what you would do differently, and to just add to my experience as well. Also, if you have any sort of questions or any sort of topics you would like me to talk about, also leave those down in the comments below. I am always super open to taking you guys' suggestions and to making videos that you would like to see, or to answer questions that you might have. And lastly, I would love if you guys, you know, kept checking out this channel by hitting the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post next. There's also so much more exchange student content floating around this channel, so check out other videos as well. You might find something super interesting. And that is all I have to say today. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video and this channel, and love you guys so much. See you soon. Bye.